Well, let's talk some more about this now with Scott Lucas, who's Professor of American Studies at the University of Birmingham. So, Scott, a monumental decision, obviously, but first of all, what's the immediate impact of it? What happens now to women who are due to get an abortion in America? What are their options?
The best summary I can give you is that we return to the position before 1973, when Roe versus Wade established the right to abortion across all 50 states. And in that pre-1973 situation, if a woman was in a state that did not allow abortion, she had to find a state which did allow it. If she did not have the financial means or for other circumstances could not travel to get an abortion, she was left with two choices. She either had to carry the pregnancy to term, or she had to risk what we call a backstreet abortion, an abortion which quite often was dangerous, even deadly, to women. We are now back to that situation in 2022 because, as you mentioned in your report, more than half of the U.S. states, including my native state of Alabama, will either sharply restrict or ban abortions. At least 13 states have so-called trigger laws, which meant that as soon as the decision was announced today, those bans or sharp restrictions came into effect. And in the states that have or are likely to ban abortion or sharply restrict it, we're talking about 40 million women of childbearing age who now face a lottery because they don't have the ability to control their bodies and control what they want to do in the event of a pregnancy.
And what are the wider implications of this ruling? Does it open the door for changes to other rulings like the right to contraception, for example?
It does, in theory, because what happened in the ruling, which was drafted by the arch-conservative Justice Samuel Alito, is that Alito, in overturning Roe versus Wade, the way that he described why Roe versus Wade was supposedly a bad decision, he said they had misinterpreted the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Now, the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is one which guarantees personal rights. So I don't think that contraception will be banned. I don't think we'll go that far. But I do think the door is open to roll back the advances in lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual rights, LGBT rights, including the right to same-sex marriage, which was only approved by the court several years ago. I do think it is possible that other civil rights could be rolled back, including rights guaranteed on the basis of race or on the basis of other minority rights. In other words, the civil rights movement since the 1960s, all those advances could theoretically be reopened to rollback because of this decision.
Looking at the states where abortion will be banned, how divided is it along political lines? Why is it such a politically polarized issue?
Well, I can't remember a time when I've been born when abortion wasn't what we call a hot button issue. There are many people who feel passionately on religious grounds, that abortion should not be allowed in all circumstances. There is also the political divide where generally, not absolutely, but you find far more Republicans who support restrictions on abortion. What makes this difference, what really feeds this division is that about 20 years ago, we had sort of said, look, we accepted it. Even those who opposed abortion sort of accepted, well, it is the law of the land. What changed the situation in the last few years, what fed the division, was first of all, the rhetoric of a guy named Donald Trump. And secondly, it was the mission by conservatives to pack the Supreme Court with conservative justices. So in other words, once the Supreme Court became acting not as a legal body, as an independent legal body, but as a political instrument, that turns this division into action, social action, which actually rolls back social rights, including those of women.
Professor Scott Lucas from University of Birmingham, thanks very much indeed for talking to us today.
Thank you.